So, I want to talk about Psalm 23, verse 1. And this psalm, it starts off by saying, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And the first thing that's really interesting about that is that David's writing it. I'm trying to drive and talk at the same time here. Is that David's writing it, and David was a shepherd. So it probably really resonated with David, this analogy of him being a sheep and the Lord being his shepherd. It's also really interesting that a shepherd was a very lowly but necessary job. So, back when Saul went to basically anoint a king, and he went to Jesse and was asking about his sons, David, being the youngest, wasn't even there. He was out in the fields shepherding the flock. And so that's kind of like the status of a shepherd. It's definitely not given a job that would be given to the firstborn, but in David's case, since he was the youngest, he wasn't even being considered for king. He was out in the fields doing his shepherding work. And but at the same time, it's a very necessary position, because what does a shepherd do? They guide the sheep, they protect the sheep, they care for and feed the sheep. And so, without a shepherd, you just got a bunch of dumb sheep wandering around, and they're going to be prone to get lost. Their sheep are kind of notoriously stupid. And that's the same analogy that David is using about himself, that basically he's lost without the Lord's guidance and the Lord's protection. And so it's also really interesting that God would basically, in his Holy Scriptures, use this analogy about himself, because it shows being called a shepherd is not the most royal title you could be given, but I think it shows God's love for us, because he's willing to humble himself and be called a shepherd, which is a lowly position, but it shows that ultimately he cares for us and he loves us, and he wants to take on that role and guide us. And we, like sheep, need that guidance, and we need that direction, and we need that protection. And David, it's very personal for David. He says, "The Lord is my shepherd," not "the Lord is our shepherd." He sees the Lord as the one that's constantly watching over him, telling him which way to go, protecting him from all the evil people who are out to get him, and just giving him his daily bread that he needs. And then the second part of verse 1 is, "I shall not want," which, for whatever reason growing up, I always thought that meant, I always read it as, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," meaning, I shouldn't want the Lord. And I was really confused about that as a kid. Why would I not want the Lord? But what it actually means, in maybe a better or a more friendlier translation, is "I lack nothing," or basically says there's nothing that I need as long as I have the Lord as my shepherd. And so that's kind of just a beautiful picture that the Lord is the one who should be guiding us and caring for us. And it's a good question to ask yourself: is the Lord my shepherd this day? Am I going about my day trusting in the Lord, leaning on him, expectant that he's going to guide me and protect me? Or am I going to wander off on my own way, ultimately leading to my own demise, like a sheep lost out in land that they probably shouldn't be on without a shepherd? And if you have that, then do you feel content? Do you feel like you have everything you need because the Lord is your shepherd? So that's my encouragement to you today. So blessings to you.